Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. Hang out with these nerds.
Nathan Nerdark.
Eric is Ryan.
Nerdark is Ted.
And welcome to another episode of Quests and Adventures. I believe this is number 4.
There we are.
Rocking them out. Or is it number 3? I'm not sure.
I think it's 3. 3. Yeah.
It might be 3. I may have put number 4 in the thing, though.
You lied. Well, we'll have to go back and correct that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess we should start off with a happy nerd year.
Yes.
Sure.
Sure. Happy Nerd Year to everyone.
Happy Nerd.
Happy Nerd Year, folks. So, we already have a couple people in the chat. They're already talking. They're already making requests.
The Ravenous.
They're ravenous.
Like ravenous rats.
Can you do an episode about evolving, scaling magic items that grow and develop along with you? It could be a bit like some of the character build vids, where each of you bring an idea to the table.
I like that digivolving the magic items, and that could be definitely a tact we take for future Lost Lore, or not Lost Lore, Mage Forges, as far as like Patreon rewards and stuff too.
3rd edition had leveled treasures, and I thought that concept was really great. So porting that over into 5th edition wouldn't be out of the question.
I feel like we've even made mention of that kind of stuff in videos.
I think we have.
We may not have done a video per se on that topic, but I'm almost positive it's come up.
I agree.
Yeah, but yeah, we've grown. So not everybody has seen all the 1,000 and so literally 1,000 plus videos we've done. So 1,400,
like 1,400.
1,400, yeah.
Yeah, one of the Skeletor and 5e.
Skeletor, I shaved my legs for you tonight.
Yeah. That is definitely a strong possibility. So we got Comrade 2261, Jacob Vockler, James Carden, Danny Stepp, Excalibur's LPS.
Oh yeah, we've seen him around.
I believe
frequently.
Daniel kind of corrected us in one of the Gmails. It's S-Step.
S-Step,
Yeah.
E-Step, U-Step, We-Step,
Yeah.
My Step.
We're bad at name pronunciation, so
Yeah, to figure that one out. Aaron Palaquin.
Like the thing that the nobles are carried in.
Ryolu Blue. Yeah, everyone wishing us a happy nerd year as well. Crits for all. That's awesome.
Show us your crits.
So are you guys doing anything good for New Year's Eve? What do you guys got going on? I'm probably going to be pretty boring myself.
Yeah.
I'm probably just staying home watching shows with the family.
Just make something up. Dude.
No, I am. Molly's having a party, and drinks will be had, and partying will be had. A part of me was tinkering around with like real quick downloading the Dread rules, bringing a Jenga tower, and like everybody didn't know it, but they showed up to play a fucking RPG. I didn't do it this time, but I swear I'm going to do that. Like one of these days, I'm going to a party. Oh, let's play some Jenga, and then like just start describing shit that happens and assigning people to make pools.
Surprise, motherfuckers!
Yeah, surprise! You're playing an RPG. You never played an RPG before. Well, you're playing one now. But yeah, I definitely have to do that to someone at some point in time. And maybe I'll Periscope it or something like that down the line. Do some sort of bootleg live streaming.
I'm gonna travel the galaxy in MechWarrior Online probably late into the night, drinking my dragon milk brew, which is something my wife gave me for Christmas. So I'm gonna test
that
it out.
literally makes me think of the meme where it shows the guy playing video games and he stops at midnight to like hit a popper and then goes right back to playing video games.
Now, could you make at midnight? Is everybody going to shoot their Mech Warrior like guns up in the air?
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a party.
Yeah.
PPCs and long range missiles into the sky.
Yeah. So what is dragon milk?
I
It's
haven't
clearly
tried
the
it.
milk of dragon, you fool.
It's alcoholic and it's a beer. I've never had it before, but she said since it was nerdy themed, she picked it up for me.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff too. Someone puts like dragon or bard or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's like I think some breweries like did some like Game of Thrones influenced.
Yeah, I'll give it
inspired stuff.
I'll give it a
before.
taste test if that's
You will not be video gaming alone. There's other people talking about doing the same.
all right.
Yeah.
And then, also someone's playing they're playing a session right now, and they're watching our thing as well. So that's kind of cool. Joseph Barney,
The dungeon
kind of
master.
rude to your dungeon
Yeah,
master.
dungeon master might not be thrilled about that. But
Yeah, but we appreciate it. He's
Yeah.
like, don't worry about it, guys. I am the dungeon master.
Yeah. Your quest is you're beset by 4 bespeckled and bearded goblins, and they make you watch a video.
I do recently recall us a request to D&Di's us, and I think I just referred to the modern game Nerdarchy Saves the World. I'm like, we kind of did do that sort of.
Well, part of it had an eye to like test out the modern classes though as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, like I tried the modern Warlock, which in a modern game just pick up a gun.
Yeah,
well,
use
all
grenades.
all the tech stuff you did was pretty cool, but yeah, when
There was
came,
lots of cool ribbony stuff
when it came
happening.
to damage, just pick up the gun.
Yeah.
And grenades.
Yeah. Explode.
Mystics with grenades was pretty good.
I don't know about you guys. I still use my axes.
Yeah, but I think every time you swung them, they got more and more enchanted or something like that. So
Wow.
yeah.
That was-
Every other time.
So we have some people we want to thank for the year's end, I believe.
Absolutely. You know, first and foremost, we want to thank our patrons that are out there. You know, we can't do the things that we do without you guys. Big hearty thank you, much appreciated.
Yeah, big nerdy thumbs up to you.
Thank you very much.
This past week we did a video that has a new kind of feel to it. So a big thanks to our friend Locrius Planetoid for a little bit of help, I guess we would say.
Letting us sprinkle in and co-opt some of his cool, awesome music talents and also his narration.
Absolutely. So let us know.
Talents. He has talent.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think about that video. We've got prospects to do a handful more of those. Do you want to see more of that stuff or not? You know, please let us know. Thank you to specifically Cool Mini or Not, the one sponsoring our giveaway, which will give that away next week. But to any and all who have sponsored stuff for us, which you can see all of that on our thank you page. A big hearty thank you. It's
Thanks to all you people. Yep.
Yeah, please do check out their stuff, the page and their stuff, because without them, we wouldn't be able to give away so much cool things. You know, maybe you're interested in what they have, maybe not, but at least check it out. We take it as a personal kindness. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. We also TRITON was our first sponsored review, so I want to thank that gentleman Christopher
Aline.
Scott Barnett.
Pulling it out will not help us pronounce it at all.
Yeah, that's true. Christopher, you know who you are. Christian? Was it Christian? Christian. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Christian A. So that was really cool to have our first sponsored review. We were hoping to do more of those in the future throughout next year.
I recently just saw a bit of a debate raging about the idea of doing sponsored reviews.
Yeah.
And how they're not as valuable to you guys. And whether you should do it. You know, if you're taking money for something, is it more of a commercial? But at the end of the day, like, my opinion is, like, I don't care what everybody thinks. I only care about you guys, the real fans, you know, who've come to watch our show and enjoy what we do, and you expect integrity from us, and that's what we're going to give you. I'm not going to try and appease everybody. When we do sponsor stuff, we'll let you guys know it was sponsored, and we'll make it honest. Like in that game, there was things we liked and we didn't like, and we pointed them out. You know, and that's what we'll do with.
Yeah, they're paying for the mention and the review. They're not paying for a good review. Like there's other platforms to like help potential people with products hook up with like YouTubers and other people that can promote things out there. Mm-hmm. The problem with a lot of those websites is they get to approve it before they pay for it, and so it's basically like they're paying for a good review, so I had a big problem with some of those sites. Now, one of the ones is this thing called FameBit. Google took it, so I feel like there's probably going to be more integrity as far as that goes. Like, good or bad for Google, they at least try to keep things pretty honest by and large on the YouTube platform.
But here we will absolutely be honest. What we say, you know, when the camera is on, is legitimately going to be our opinions. So you can trust if we say, hey, this is a good game, we give it a thumbs up, we want to play it, that's heartfelt, and we do mean it. So
you may not agree with our opinion.
No, well,
that's perfectly fine.
Well, and that's what it is. I mean, opinions are great because everybody's got one, and they're going to differ at times.
So there's that. I figured it was worth mentioning, but you know, we always try and do right by you guys. That's really important to us. So without you guys, we don't have a channel.
Yeah, I mean, also too, like part of that debate that was going on, I didn't weigh into it yet, but the one thing I wanted to say is, like, basically for the first 2.5 years ish, we pretty much did not get paid a cent doing Nerdarchy. So you don't do something for free and build up an audience if you don't love what you're doing and the interactions with the crowd. So we remember many of the people that were there with us when we had like only 2,000 subscribers, like
two subscribers.
Yeah. Like when we had, like, you know, when our subscribers could be measured in a couple of thousands, like we remember those people that were frequent interactors. So you don't sell that off for a few $100. You really don't. So yeah, I feel a certain kind of way about that.
Touching on the sponsorship and the giveaways, if you represent a company that does nerdy type stuff and you would like to either sponsor a vid or sponsor a giveaway, you can just reach out to us at nerdarchy@gmail.com. That's the best way. I know I'm in there, usually a couple times a day. Dave is probably around the same.
And I get pinged on my email because I have that, like, it's on my phone. So yeah, it just happens.
It just happens. Yeah. So what else do we got? Going into 2017, we got we're kicking off basically next year with the cruise, so that's going to be cool. The fantasy,
and those of you who aren't going to be able to join us there, we'll be taking pictures and doing videos and that kind of stuff on the boat. Yeah. So you guys will get to see the awesome
vicariously, and we'll show off some things that are going to help that out. But are we trying to make that thing happen in the area prior to?
Well, yeah, actually, I had intended it. I have to work out the details.
So we're working on the kinks of this, but
yeah, but there's a young fan who actually lives in that area, and his birthday is like right around that time, and he wanted to know if we'd be doing if we'd be able to do a game or something,
a pre-hangout,
yeah, and
for people that happen to be sort of in the Tampa Bay area.
So I'm going to be showing up several days before the cruise.
As will I. So you'll get a minimum of 2 Nerdarchists, but we have to work out the details of what's going on.
So yeah, I sent that young gentleman a friend request on Facebook, and I had responded to his comment in our secret group company of the NAG.
Our secret, not so secret group.
Yeah. If you're not a part of that, go find it on Facebook and join it. And and basically, I was like, sure, I'll run a game for you and your friends, or if we do it at a store or whatever.
Maybe we can have like a little bit of a hangout for a few hours, that sort of situation. We also have family in the area, so we're gonna try to squeeze in a bit of hanging out there with our cousin or aunt and uncle down that way as well.
Yeah, and I think my family, my wife and kids, want me to hang out with them too while we're there. It's kind of like work/vacation.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out those details. Yeah, so probably around the 17th to 18th, we're going to figure something out.
Very cool.
Yeah, so details are sketchy, but we just wanted to put it out there if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area.
Sketchy like those Nerdarchy.
Yeah, just keep on the lookout, and we'll try to make some noise once we have the details exactly worked out for that.
So I just want to speak to something real quick. Mr. Rob's Cleaning Service. You guys inspire me to buy 5th edition D&D and get involved with it again.
Awesome.
And
awesome, Mr. Rob.
I think that's funny. But no, there's so many, we hear that so many times, and I think that's like one of the greatest compliments we can hear as a YouTube channel, as nerds.
Yeah, we heard that from one of our Nine in the Nag, Adam Finney. Like that's definitely one of the things. He's like, my group was, I guess they were playing 3rd edition or 4th, and we kind of inspired him to get them to go to the leap of 5th edition as well.
Even Mike Gould, who's a constant commenter, and he's also a staff writer now. I didn't realize that. I just found out within the last week or two that he's like, yeah, I had been on a hiatus for 15 years or whatever it was. And it was watching your videos that got me kind of back into.
Ties in the same boat.
Yeah, it ties the same way. There's a lot of people like that. I guess there's something to be said for like turning on the YouTubes and seeing a bunch of fucking old guys sitting there and go, wow, they're still throwing funny shaped dice. Maybe I'm not too old.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And we've seen people from like their 60s and 70s all the way down to their tweens who you watch our show. I'm a little sketchy about the younger ones.
Yeah, the swearing, like, oh man, oh damn it, I wouldn't let my kid watch.
I know, you're horrible parents.
Yeah.
No, Christopher Evans too. He's like, yeah, I recommend you guys to all the new players, and I got a bunch of teens that are watching. I'm like, I hope they're not too young, because we're a
little salty language. Sometimes. But it's nothing worse than they probably see on network TV these days, really. So
it's probably tamer than they hear at school. So.
Yeah, it's a little worse than network TV, though. I'd say they don't drop many F-bombs or any. So there's that. But it's really cool. It's really cool that we can bring in the new generations. We can connect with our own generations, older generations, younger. It's like all over the map. It's what keeps the hobby going. We need you guys.
So we have Dave ran his fan game last night, and some interesting things that happened there. We're gonna talk more about that in some later videos. My game is going to be coming up next month. It's with us going on the cruise. It's going to be tricky trying to plan what date that's going to be. But we're hoping to try to do a little bit more of a planned format where we let you know kind of what the game is going to be about. So you're making characters ahead of time that are going to be themed properly for the game. So we'll mention next week as far as what the date is going to be, who the picked players are, and what the style of game is going to be about.
So this is
I try to not. I never want to give too much of a spoil to like have people play optimized characters, but I do like it's going to be in the wilderness or something kind of like that. Although when I did the game that was like a Running Man sort of theme, I was like, well, that could literally be any sort of people that kind of get imprisoned for that. So.
Yeah, there's definitely something said for us giving out a theme. Like, I'm definitely going to do my next game is probably going to be my Valhalla Awaits game, and that's where you guys are going to start off describing your death scene, and then the game begins. So there's that. So Don Denning, sorry, but I have a hard time watching you guys since it's all about the new editions. I'm a second edition or older only player, so my question is, how often do any of you play the older D&D? Well, we have a lot of videos that can be kind of neutral as far as
like a lot of their older monsters didn't really change, and I think that 5th edition does a really good job of bridge gapping older editions. Like describing the monsters from 2nd edition aren't tremendously different to 5th edition, really.
And sometimes I actually prefer how they were in the earlier editions.
Yeah,
but yeah, obviously like our character builds and when we do things like that is very mechanic and edition specific, but then there's other things when we're talking more like role-playing stuff and
the story or narrative stuff is that's the same across editions.
A lot of GM tips aren't about mechanics, it's about how to actually do stuff. So anytime we get into that kind of stuff, those are videos that you can watch, and it might not even be just D&D, it could be across all RPGs.
So to answer your question, I haven't played a D&D in about
at least 15 years.
Well, our group started, and we were playing. We did start with AD&D.
We started with 2nd edition.
Yeah,
and that was over 20 some years ago.
It was probably like late 90s, 96 ish, something like that. Maybe even 92, 93.
It was I want to say like 95 because I think I was still in high school.
Yeah.
Well, I started dating your sister in 93, and I got married in 98.
Yeah.
So we were
somewhere between those two. 93. So 94, 95. Had to have been.
And then whenever 3rd edition came out, we moved right into the new edition.
Because we converted our 2nd edition AD&D characters into 3rd edition characters.
Yeah. Ted got mad because it's like, fuck you, Ted. Your elf cannot be as strong as an ogre.
You wouldn't let me have that 21 or 22 strength.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, because you had like, it was back when there was 18 slash something.
1894.
Yeah.
I don't know why I know that number.
You had the highest you could have, pretty much have for being an elf.
You were like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of elves. It's time to elf you up.
Only humans could have the 1800.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember when I had the Minotaur character with like the freakishly 23 or 24 strength. That's another reason why I thought I could fucking break through a wall. You probably heard this story before, but my strength is so massive. My character was as strong as giants, and from a fictional positioning standpoint, you'd expect giants to just Kool-Aid man through walls. Yeah.
Why not? At least for a couple kicks or something.
Yeah.
Get through it.
Maybe we'll have to get some paper mache walls for you to feel better about yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Cosplay as a Minotaur breakthrough. Yes, finally.
Oh yeah.
So I just want to throw this out there to all of you guys out there. If you have any viewer suggestions or GM 911s, not only do we field them in videos, but we are looking to answer those kind of questions that aren't video enough worthy that we can answer them here. The Quest and Adventures is a way for us to be able to help out you guys, and we've been kind of noticing there's been less of those coming in. So if you've been kind of holding back, feel free to send
We've answered all of their questions.
Yeah,
There's no more.
Yeah, it's weird. Like eventually we're gonna have to do like a certain FAQ GM 911, like the things that we hear over and over again.
Yeah.
Like we need to make a playlist of all those videos. Like, hey, first check out this because this is likely answered 90% of questions, but we're also looking for those edge cases of just interesting things that's happened, or sometimes even depending on the time of day, the nerd that are present, like we could have different answers on the situation or different takes, just given on a different given day.
But the best way to send those things to us after you've checked and whatnot is nerdarchy@gmail.com.
Yeah, so either GM911 for that, if you have a shorter blurb sort of question, Q&A, and for our Patreon supporters, like, you know, obviously we always just want to answer the best and most interesting questions. Like, we think that's going to serve all of you guys the best. But if you happen to be a Patreon supporter and you send it either through the Patreon messaging system, or maybe just put Patreon when you put that email in the subject line, so Patreon GM91 or something like that, we would probably be a little more proactive in answering those. But again, it has to be good content for everyone. So no guarantee, but gives you a little bit of an edge. Gives you a +1 to swing.
But speaking of Patreon, if you are on the fence, if you want the next set of rewards that are going to be going out, today is the last day to sign up. And you know, we got some cool stuff going on.
Yeah, and even if you're like, oh man, well, I can only give $1. $1 actually is super helpful. Like, AdSense revenue, like basically a view is worth fractions of a penny. So if you think $1 is essentially a month is nothing, it's actually huge. If we could get a big proportion to just give $1, like that would tremendously help us out. It'd be just tremendous and huge and tremendously huge.
What is we have 2 board games we're giving away, or 1 board game?
One board game. It's Xenoshift.
Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. It's pretty meaty.
Oh, all right.
Just hit him right.
And
So-
I just deployed a board game for my back.
You don't want to know where it really came from.
So
He stirred it.
this is, you know, 1 to 4 players, 13 plus, 30 to 60 minutes. It's a very, very cool looking game. This was sent to us by coolmanyornot.com. So again, thank you guys.
Yeah, so yeah, somebody will randomly be selected with that. So there is Patrons automatically get their name in the hat for the giveaway, and then we also do have a PO box, no purchase necessary way to be able to enter, because legally we have to. So yeah, so there is that.
Uncle Sam has got us in an armbar.
Yeah.
And legally, we also have to say that YouTube is not sponsoring the video giveaway or in any way interacting with it, except we put our video on YouTube. That's the only thing YouTube has to do with any of our stuff with that.
Oh, do we have to say that as well?
Yeah, technically YouTube likes it when we
Can
say
we
that.
just make up things to say, or maybe they won't be listening?
And if you guys out there question, you know, what it is that we do with the funds and stuff, we did just make a, you know, large, considerable purchase to improve the quality. of
Let
our
me put
channel.
my business hood on. We made a capital investment and resources to make videos better for you.
So we got some stuff to show off.
while it's
you know.
streaming stuff, levels of stuff.
Yeah.
So we got a new camera.
So we're not deploying it yet. We have to. We're chimpanzees with technology, so we have to learn how to use it.
So we got a new camera,
Another lens for it.
got a cool new mic.
Super
All
Mike.
kinds of cool
Yeah, so
flares.
that should greatly increase the audio.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
As Ted stacks our new video equipment precariously.
This is our cool new lighting kit. which-
Trust this, it's not a
Sir-
sniper rifle.
Yeah. That is a couple of soft boxes, so that'll help the lighting
and
better.
have to do this without knocking over a computer. This is the boom stand.
There you go. So that'll be able to have the mic close by, but not in the shot. Hopefully. So
Hopefully. We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
That all pans out. So we sat around, we voted, and you know, after long hours of deliberation, almost like a hung jury, we did not get hookers and blow, but we went and got more equipment to make the show better and improve things for you guys.
Yeah, so we'll be upgrading the camera as you saw, and even down the road we're going to look at that option that we could do like a multi-camera thing and cut between shots. It's going to be much more work on the editing side that Dave tends to do, but you know, we're always trying to just move forward and make things better.
Pretty much. We want to steal. We're going to steal WebDM's visuals, except for I think they have a professional guy.
Yeah, they do. They like one
Their
of the
stuff's
guys I
amazing.
think works in like film and television, and that's why their stuff is so sweet.
We're gonna have a few primate interns somewhere monkeying with stuff.
Yeah,
That's what's gonna happen.
We'll have Kyle S. run up and powder us. but it'll be like more like slapstick comedy than
Like
actual
a
TV.
bag of flour.
Yeah.
You're proud.
Perfect. In case you guys were wondering, Lucas Campiano, just so you guys know, Cognar, the one-handed dwarf, is still kicking. He has a locking gauntlet with a shield attached, wielding a great axe. Named Last Word. Thanks for the help. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, where he had to cut off his own hand.
Yeah, that was pretty badass. So I figured you guys would want to know that he was still
The
around.
fate of Cognar.
Nice.
The Cognar abides, dude.
James Carton is. I'm extremely depressed. I want to hookers and blow. All right, there you go. So next time you know where we're spending your money.
Yeah. But we'll keep it thematic. There'll be hookers and cosplay.
Comic Book University, the Bill.
Nice.
William Coletti. Did anyone else think that Ted was pulling out a sniper rifle at first? I've finally had it with these other fuckers. I'm taking them out.
Yeah. All the daggers in the back. Finally.
I don't think that would be a wise idea to murder one of my business partners live on YouTube.
Live. You're doing it live. Then that's the
confused.
magic of live. You don't know.
It was
You
just
don't
a meme.
know. You don't know what's going to happen. Seriously, that's the magic of live. We're
It was
doing
just-
it live.
Is it going to be named Sky King's Thunder?
Yeah.
On the side?
That is the name. Yeah, here we go.
It doesn't matter what I do. I never live down.
Listen, what was it? Gaelic Elquinge? You still have to get roused about him.
Oh, I know. From over
Which
20 years ago.
the translation from Elvish is Sky King's Thunder. Little known fact. Little known fact.
Corin Bryant, does ranged attacks have advantage if you're elevated position from the target? That would be your DM's call. That would definitely be a house rule. But by raw, there's nothing going on with that.
Yeah, nothing special. Only if they're prone and you're within melee range to attack with a melee weapon. Is the only way you get advantage for attacks.
For
really.
positioning.
For
yeah.
positioning, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe use optional flanking rules. Again, another.
House.
It's an optional rule, but yeah.
Take off your clothes and put
All
on
right.
this wizard's robe.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Do we have any sort of quests and adventures?
We do.
Q&A.
You're welcome, Don. We appreciate you asking the question. It was our pleasure to answer it. I'm waiting for Ted to pull a hooker from behind the camera.
Don't worry. It would just be her head.
Here's one from James Carden. What new archetypes would each of you want added to the game? What would you make if you didn't have to do the work? That's an interesting addition because I've thought of what archetypes I like in the game, but not having to do the work for that just like makes it
That much
a really
better.
complicated one
Yeah.
They want all psionic,
all the time.
all psionic archetypes.
I mean, I think we kind of got into this with the last Q&A. Where like just more sorcerer bloodlines would be really great to see more of them in the game.
Well, my go-to psionics, but I would say that what I'd like to see if I didn't have to do the work is some kind of like vampire kin or like the ability to be like an undead or a cursed like archetype within something like a fighter like a ghoul or something.
Could it be like the way they did Rune Scribe, where it's like 5 level
I think we literally answered this one in the last one.
Yeah.
God damn it, we want the Druid Beast Companion.
Yeah. But no, I actually think for like that vampire thing, doing it kind of like the scribe on Arcana, where it's just a 5 level,
yes.
5 level departure. Like, oh, you're kind of this level much of undead and loving it.
The prestige class.
Right.
Yeah,
So
when they did like
I would like to see, a legit summoner.
Yeah.
Someone that your spell slots are similar to the old style of 3rd edition.
Nice. And we've actually even given the same answers we did the last time they asked.
I gave vampire, like I said, vampire kin because I think it would be because I'm not doing the work for it because I don't want to have to balance undead against all the other classes and all.
Although was it Innistrad or the other one that did the race?
It did it as a race. Like they were like, so they weren't proper vampires like we would imagine, like either fiction, the Bram Stoker's Dracula or the Monster Manual vampire. It's like a race that's specific to Magic the Gathering, and they're not really like full on vampires.
Vampire.
Well, didn't somebody
tastes great, less filling.
Didn't somebody do like a Revenant?
There is a Revenant that was.
That's
an
also another
Unearthed
one from
Arcana.
Unearthed Arcana.
Yeah.
So
And I did articles way back in the day
Way back in
for Eaters of the Dead, which was like a ghoul barbarian
mhm.
archetype, and I did a monk vampirekin. So it was kind of like a person that was cursed to take on vampiric traits. And
So you completely lied because you actually did the work.
yeah, but it's not. I mean, it's balanced because it's just pretty much a rip off of the original classes. So it's like I want to see like something true, like you're saying, like a 5-level rune scribe or
So
something.
not an archetype, but a prestige.
crafting an archetype, like, you know, because I think what do you have to come up specific abilities, like 7 of them or something like that. An archetype, if it's a full-fledged archetype, that's a legitimate thing. Like that, if it works and it's balanced, that's an archetype.
In theory.
In theory.
Garuda, I'm still trying to get the hang of mechanics, for example. I really want to play a heavy magic user, but spell management looks super overwhelming. Any tips? We actually have a series going on. We filmed the 3rd and 4th video for it already. The first one was feats. The second one was classes. The 3rd and 4th will be spells and races, and that's building a battle mage. Now, it's very specific to a specific type of mage, but we do discuss a lot of that. As far as spell management and knowing your spells, like the spell cards that you can buy are super helpful, or you can even get an index card and make up your own so you have them available and ready.
Or sticky tabs.
Or just be a character class that gets next to no spells, like a Warlock or a Sorcerer, and there you go. You have much fewer spells to manage at that point.
So
It's just
You
a
don't have
wizard.
as many to learn.
If you're talking about building a wizard or a cleric, though, I find that if you're using the actual PDF that's out there, the spell list, page 3, is incredibly useful for being able to figure out, all right, what do I have access to and what's prepared, because they have the little dots that you can fill in. Okay, this is what I'm working with today. When you finish a long rest, you can change those out and be able to move forward with, all right, this is what I'm using today. Oh, crap. Well, I realized this spell either didn't work the way I wanted it to, or it wasn't super helpful today. So I'll sack that one out and get a different one. So just knowing exactly how many spells that you can prepare in a day is something that each class has the breakdown of what they are between cleric or wizard. Know what those are.
So I'd also like to interject. So there is an app. So I got it from Google Play for free. It's D&D 5 Spellbook, and I think it's got like the elemental evil and all the stuff from the player's handbook. So this app lets you organize your spells you can make it specific to a character.
Nice.
And you can look it up, and like there's ways to sort and search things out. Like it's usually by level in School of Magic. So that's a way to help you organize and manage your spells as well.
However you prefer to do it, either digitally or paper.
And then the other part is it's just a matter of doing it. The only way to get better at anything is just practice. So the more often you play spellcasters, the better you're going to be at them.
And also too, if you're starting from low levels, like 1st through 3rd level, you have way more or way less resources to manage.
Mm-hmm.
So this way, there's a progression of starting from a 1st level wizard to a 15th level. Well, you've kind of built it up over time. Whereas if you just try and play a high-level spellcaster off the bat, you're going to be overwhelmed with the amount of selections you have to make and all the things you have to learn.
That's why I also think having the physical copy of it in your hand and not having to refer to the book makes it a lot easier too. Like I said, index cards or
the spell cards.
Or the spell cards, so that you understand and know the spell you're using. Our friend Scott, who plays with us, is a horrible spellcaster. He'll go to cast a spell and then realize it's like a 10-minute casting time. And be like, oh, well, he's like, you know what? I said I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
and like that's where I feel like player mismanagement is something that, I'm sorry, if you've learned the spell as a spellcaster, you're gonna know whether or not you can do that in battle. You wouldn't need to stick to that plan because the player,
your 18 intelligent character is going to know, oh, we will all be murdered by the time I finish this spell. So you would problem solve that one, I think.
Yeah, and even if you just say, oh, I'll waste my turn and the slot and then just do something next turn, rather than, you can stop yourself anytime you want.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't even cause that much of a penalty. I'm not that kind of DM, but he sometimes sticks to it. So
Comrade 2261, do you guys allow app character creation or paper only? I've had a few issues with people who use their phone only. Look, as long as they have access to the information and that's not the problem, I could care less. I don't really I track very little for my players. They can track it themselves. I'll tell you how much damage I did. You tell me if you're dead or not.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's kind of like, who the hell wants to game with someone that you absolutely can't trust them to like do due diligence to like represent their character and not just like lie the whole time. Like that's a person I just would rather not game with.
There's been times where the start of a session, whoever was DMing would say, okay, everybody, what's your hit point totals? And both parties would track the information as damaged, and the evening went on, and it got to be a point where like the DM's got enough stuff to worry about. Why should they be tracking your hit points too? That's on you to worry about. I use the DM every once in a while. If I'm engaged in heavy combat, I will have said, okay, where are you guys at? So like I can making intelligent decisions based on what the monsters are going to do. If I'm slogging out damage across the board and this particular guy is going to look to bring someone down, oh, well, this one over here is close to being dropped. All right, he's going to focus on that person.
And you might want to know hit point maximums a little bit to know how many hits does it take to drop a PC? A 1? A 2?
3. Nice.
I used to track everything. I used to had their armor class and their hit points,
Allergies, blood type.
everything. Now I'm like, whatever. I just want to show up, roll some dice, play. I'm definitely everybody had to be at the game. There's all these things. I just don't worry about it anymore. It's a game.
Everyone's there to have fun, and that's what it's about.
Right. Scratch Paper Games says, ever consider making videos where you create new spells for 5e?
We've definitely considered it. I don't think we've done it yet.
We talked with, I think, Scott. He wanted to make it was Ryan, you and myself. We did a making sword tiers, which was a spell creation. Yeah, where we talked about the general idea of making a spell, and I did an article to go along with it. And there is also a lot of helpful things back in the DMG about kind of where to put damage amounts and type, and whether it's a cone or area effect, or how many people it affects for creating new spells. But we have one video, but we could definitely it's an in-depth enough subject if you want to create a spell. It can get explored multiple times.
There's plenty of spells and magical effects that have been used on the DM side of things. I know I've created stuff on the whim, but it's from the DM's point, it doesn't matter whether it's a spell or a magical effect. This is just something that happens. But if it's something that the player decides, oh, well, I want to get access to that. Well, okay, well, how do I actually craft that as a spell? So there's a couple of things that I've used in a couple sessions ago that I am looking to convert into a player spell, but I haven't actually done videos on them.
So at some point, pending.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, the cool thing about this hobby is there's an inexhaustible amount of things we could make videos about, and there will be still more things to make videos about. So rest assured, we'll be making videos for some time.
I look at our catalog and go, how did we made so many videos, and how do we have things to still talk about? And then there's how many videos have we remade over and over again and not even realized it?
And people still ask for that same thing.
Yeah.
How many requests have we had for, can you revisit the classes?
Yeah. I think we did. We recently did one about the player not being there. And
Gould called us out.
Mike Gould's like, you've done this at least twice.
But those were Gym 911 or like a.
I mean, there's sometimes when we redo a video, we do take a different take on it, or there's a different situation because it comes up based off of a GM 911 or a viewer suggestion. So those kind of things do have a different twist. If we ever do the exact same video, then I don't know what we're gonna do about that.
It's like winning the lottery.
Seppuku.
I don't think it can actually happen. We can't really do the same exact video. I mean, we could do the same exact topic. That's happened over and over again. And for me, the late 80s, early 90s were kind of rough. So they're all new videos to me as far as I'm concerned. The heck if I remember.
But 1,400 videos is a lot. So
Deck of Wonders Holy Avengers. That's my favorite magic item.
Here's this one. Here's this one.
Yeah. So we've been talking about revisiting all of the character classes for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, especially because Watts seems to be doing all the archetypes for all the classes. So we just haven't decided yet if we're going to wait until they finish with the archetypes, and then we'll start doing them so we can include like all the different archetypes. And yeah, we can definitely put a different spin on these videos than when we did them originally. Plus, when we did them originally, that's when back in the days when we used to do marathon videos.
Yeah. Well, we also had like very minimal practical experience with how things played out, and even so, like none of us have gotten to play all the classes. Like each of us has probably gotten to play maybe 3 to 5 character classes to really in some sort of depth and understanding.
Well, here's a funny one, Owen Harvey. It's funny you should ask that, Owen Harvey. Any ideas how to mechanically make a pet mimic like Chester from Don't Starve Together? I don't know about Don't Starve Together or Chester, but
Chester's a great name for a mimic, though. Like it's like a chest.
Well, we have a Che in my game, which is essentially just a mimic, and I had it transform into a hilarious dog that follows the party around, and it's got the ability to have a second room. Now,
if you think that question is funny, this is kind of even funnier because James Corden chimes in. Oh, and they did. That's in an episode. I think it was session 21 or 20 or 20 or 21.
Yeah. I also don't know if you can see Ted's mimic shirt clearly enough. There's Schrodinger's mimic happening.
It's a dog in its mobile form, and it becomes a chest.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. So
I see. So Shay, I always thought it was from like Shay's lounge. Like that's what I imagine because he can kind of he can't turn into a comfortable chair.
He can turn into anything.
He can turn into a palanquin because that's essentially one of the comfortable chair that would move and need him to.
He just doesn't like you.
You were stuck inside him for a year, and he wasn't allowed to eat you. So I don't think he has any desire to make things easier for you.
I'm gonna light that motherfucker on fire.
So I mean, he's been a barrel, he's been a chest, he's been a dog. I think he's been a couple other things.
Show you how Lyndon Hemsworth rolls. Lighting bitches up. I'll show you how he used to do it back in the day before he was a governor and legit.
Here's a really good question. Exma Mally 28. If there was one video you could redo, what would that be? One topic you discussed which you wish you could kind of tackle again. So actually, for me, that's like the only video I've ever taken down that we put up. And when we did a video about talking about diversity in gaming, RPG gaming, as well as game designers. And we did it with Scat Garibay and Ted. And Varkison did a video.
Verkirnes,
yeah, however you say it. Thulian Perspective did a video response to us saying that we were racist and it was a racist video. And then all of his followers came over and checked out our video.
All the alt-right, basically.
And there's like 30 to 60,000 subscribers that he has. And
it was like 60K.
If I had to guess from the comments they left on the video, I would say they were like Nazis or skinheads or something.
Yeah, that's kind of the crowd he can attract.
So we had it was our most disliked video ever. The amount of negative comments on it was crazy. And the only reason I took it down, I don't actually care what they think, is because we do want to do more sponsorship deals. We want to have partnerships with other companies. And we don't want that to be like the first thing they land on.
The bile that was just oozing on the comment section of that video.
Yeah, and we could have did a better job with the video, to be honest with you. So I would definitely like to revisit that topic.
It's definitely a more delicate topic of conversation than how it was handled is really kind of was my take on it. Like it's something that I kind of think about maybe more so than well, Scott does, but like maybe than you and Ted. So I would have liked to have been present for that discussion because I feel like it's a delicate topic.
Yeah, and so one of the things we discussed essentially is more minority game designers and bringing more
people in the hobby that don't all look like us, basically.
Yeah. So, and to that end, perhaps if we do that video again, we should have some of those people in the video.
Would you know those people? No. Yeah, exactly.
So there's nothing that I would specifically want to go back and do that is popping into my head.
Oh my God! Big fishing custom tackle. People are pussies. It moved. People are pussies. I'm mad there aren't more transgender black elves that speak Spanish.
Yeah, me too, bro. Me
So,
too.
like, there's honestly, videos that we started because we've been doing this for just about 3 years now. So we could revisit that first 6 months of videos and say, okay, each of these are something that we've brought not a new experience to that video content, but as well as better quality,
Better audio, better everything. Really,
So-
recording quality, the audio, everything.
everything that in the first 6 months or so was literally filmed with the
iPhone.
with an iPhone.
Yeah.
So we've stepped up everything since the beginning. So all of those videos could be done. Our learning curve has majorly changed what we do. So honestly, we could go back and redo all of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
the way we prep for stuff, the way we go about shooting. I would say, just as a blanket statement, any of the older videos I'd be interested in revisiting.
Yeah, ones that are not
especially
necessarily-
ones that like half of us aren't even in.
Yeah.
On the older sets would be something that would be interesting, just to take the other guys' perspectives on.
And really, this is kind of like our maybe our third or fourth set, really, because when we first started off, it was in front of Ted's board game shelf
over
with
there.
Well, I mean,
with a couple chairs.
Technically, if you want to say before that, it was just kind of a hodgepodge
of wherever.
of wherever, because our first videos weren't this. It was individually.
Well, yeah, that was the format. The format has changed as well.
So
But once we changed the format to a certain point, it's kind of stayed the same.
right. So then we moved in front of the board game shelf, and then we changed to closer to the table,
To the gaming table. Then we added the backdrop.
And the backdrop stayed for a while, and then now we've got this
little
shelf
nook here.
Yeah.
So, and of course, then there's random other videos that happen to be shot
On a location.
on a
or something.
location. Larry's place, or in the outside at my mom's.
Yeah, your relative's backyard.
Yeah.
Which
So,
that's some of our best lighting, to be honest with you. Though.
so I guess another thing too is like it'd be great to eventually hit upon a series of if we can do a series of videos intended for people that are newly entering the hobby and do a really good job of sort of teaching them how to play the game. I think that would be a great thing. It would take a little more organization on our part to like make it very clearly defined and like to the point, cut and dry. So like, maybe we can do these videos in like 5-6 minutes each one to like help people who are new to the hobby not have to invest a lot of time and figure out whether they're going to be liking it and into it. So I think eventually that would be good.
Yeah, we could definitely do some of that with screen sharing and things like that. Squeeze the four of us in a tiny little box.
Yeah.
Crushing my head.
That's good.
Oh man.
Anything else, Nick?
They're getting unruly in there.
Well, James Carden, it's more of like a request. They'd love to see D&D, Nardarchy D&D as the Overwatch cast, but none of you guys play, so.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he's like, he was afraid that we would do it because it was a request rather than because we liked playing the game.
Yeah, I mean the character designs look fantastic, and the gameplay looks really cool. TRITON Reinhardt, who's become a bit of a friend of ours, like I enjoy watching his gameplays, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I learn a lot from watching them. So you learn a lot about the character design and what they do in the game, and also like personality wise, the type of things they would do and think about.
And just artistically, this stuff just looks really cool.
Yeah,
really,
so maybe based
the
on
character design and things like that. Yeah,
maybe based on Ryan and myself watching the gameplays, and we could figure out something because we kind of like we're watching the story unfold in a sense through deadly combat over and over again.
Yeah, I've only caught little snippets here and there, and it's not. We get a lot of D&D eyes requests where I'm just like, I'm sorry, we're just not that into that thing. So for us to do it, it's not as much fun, and then it's just us. We just us literally doing research and then talking about something that we just researched.
It would be all theoretically, like I've never played the Assassin's Creed game, but I've seen visuals of it and it looks cool. And this is how I imagine the character would run.
Yeah, I feel like we just prefer to do things that are more authentic and unfortunately we don't play many video games, so it's hard for us to branch out into that. Of us, Nate is the one that plays video games.
Unless you're talking like Skylanders, Lego Dimensions, or Diablo 3, not the expansion because I haven't even gotten there yet. That's about my video game experience in the last 5-10 years.
Ted Ted could D&Di's the shit out of Skylanders for you people. So, here's one for
what
Nate.
the fuck is a Skylander? Is that part of Sky King's Thunder? Is that what that is?
Question for Nate. Excalibur's LPS asks, did you play any of the Mech Assault games? Have you ever played MechWarrior like tabletop game? Actually, even though this question is for Nate, I actually owned the Robotech game so many years ago, and I think we've made characters. I don't know if we ever played. Not this group. This is pre-Nerd, the pre-Nerdarchy crew, but with my first gaming group, that's where I played the most diverse.
Like the Bothans, they're all dead.
My DM is.
I played a lot of the video games for MechWarriors.
He died of leukemia. I'm still very sad over it. He's a great DM.
I played a lot of the MechWarrior games, the PC version of the games, and I haven't played the actual like physical tabletop games. I was talking with Scott Garibay the other day, and he's played them, and he was talking to me about it because I was trying to get him to be interested in the online game that there is now.
I did play. I played some of the tabletop MechWarrior. Like I played one round of combat, but I didn't really understand how the mechanics work. So you just get wiped away when you don't know how it actually works.
That's what happens online too. You just get wiped when you don't know how it works.
I'm certain it's going to shock Dave, but there's a minis line of MechWarrior, and I have a bunch of those.
Give them to me, or let's play.
Never. How did you all meet? Well, that's an interesting question. Ryan's my brother, in case you guys didn't know that.
And
in the beard.
And Dave married my sister, in case you didn't know that. And then I met Nate in Scouts.
So I used to change Ryan's diapers, and I'm not going to tell you what I've done with. And these guys were Boy Scouts together.
Yeah, I joined Boy Scouts when I was 14.
Ironically enough, also changed her diapers.
So yeah, I met Ted through Boy Scouts when I was 14 when I joined, because all my friends, instead of playing D&D on the weekends, they said sometimes they had to do something.
Once a month, they disappeared.
And they wouldn't tell me because, it wasn't cool to be in Boy Scouts in high school, at least at our school. And I was like, all right, so what are you guys doing? Because it's kind of annoying hearing this like secret club thing going on.
This cult.
And and so I ended up joining, and then I met Ted through that. And then we all met down in Ted's
basement,
parents' basement, playing Dark Sun with of course tried to be a Thrive Queen.
always gotta be a Thrive Queen.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure my
That's
first game was
hilarious.
Dark Sun, which was a rough ride.
Comic Book University chimed in on how did you all meet eHarmony.
Do you have glasses?
Christian singles.
Yeah.
Even though Ryan's an atheist.
There you go.
Do you have glasses? Do you have a beard? Do you like playing with funny shaped dice?
So is this subjective guess who?
Yeah.
Does he look like he owns a parrot?
Yeah.
Does he look like a bitch?
Wow.
What, Samuel L. Jackson?
Marcel-
You haven't seen that meme for the Guess Who?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
No, I
seen that
haven't.
meme.
I was kind of wondering where you're going with that.
It's also Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it's from Pulp Fiction. Yeah, that's why.
Oh, right. I've never seen that movie.
It's a solid movie, but nobody's gonna get the reference.
You're out of the club.
Oh, I didn't know it was on the Harmony thing.
It's on his profile. Yeah.
That's just
If you don't like taking long walks on the beach, or you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, you're out.
So, Big Fish and Custom Tackles asked what state we are in. Denial, usually. Ashley Madison, huh? No, I'm surprised this one hasn't been answered in the chat yet. But because a lot of you guys already know that we're out in New Jersey. Ryan's in Philadelphia, right over the bridge, really close.
Yep.
But we're all originally from New Jersey anyway.
South Jersey, which is why we don't sound like we're from New York.
Well,
yeah,
that's true.
In the War of Northern Aggression, we are from the South of the Confederate New Jersey states. And upon my honor.
Wow, right.
Yeah,
I didn't see that movie either.
I don't know what movie that is.
Oh, you
I
just made it up.
I was just doing a Southern New Jersey gentleman.
All right.
Well, we're not from Cape May. That's south of the Mason-Dixon line. So
Oh, is it? I didn't even know that.
yeah, the very tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Now people are calling out where they're from. Massachusetts, Washington.
And anybody not U.S. Chiming in?
Not yet. No,
Okay.
not on this one. Where are you guys from, man? We always loved hearing like the different countries and
Right.
or exotic places like Nebraska.
yeah.
Exotic Nebraska.
The other thing too, you guys, we got the UK Welsh, awesome. Do you guys like it when we do these live things? Puerto Rico, Romania, sweet,
Nice.
Excellent.
England for the win.
There we are.
Utah,
I love it that we can reach so globally. This is
Netherlands originally, but I'm in the US now. Are you thinking about moving back? England, Atlanta, Florida.
Florida. Your best rapper name ever.
Oh yeah, Canada. We get a ton of people from Canada.
Canadians.
Minnesota, that's basically Canada.
Yeah. That's Southern Canada.
Here we go. Fun fact from Comic University. Cape May actually sent 3 soldiers to the Confederacy during the Civil War.
Wow.
We got
Thank you for dropping some knowledge, Bill.
Yeah, we got Norway, we got Argentina, North Carolina.
None of our Australia people.
It's kind of late there.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Which day is it there? They might be celebrating New Year's.
Yeah, they might be raining in New
I
Year's.
can't remember which way we travel in time.
Yeah.
For them, that which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't know if
the beards attract the Canadians.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, but we're only attracting Canadian men, no women.
Hey, we've got 3%.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah. That's true.
Sorry, I love all you guys.
Yeah, the gender breakdown of Nerdarchy fans is like 97% male. It's just like, oh, I guess this kind of represents the gaming hobby as it stands current state. Well, I mean, also too, if we were an all-female cast, we'd probably disproportionately attract more women. Well, no, and then a lot of men too, if we happen to be attractive women. So, yeah,
We would just never know.
in the bizarre universe of how things could be. Yeah, bizarro world. But we'd still have beards for some reason.
Dwarven women.
Yeah.
So Koji Phoenix, would Nerdcraft return?
It is something we want to eventually do. It's just a matter of working out the logistics and time.
Ted and Nate are lazy and they don't love you guys enough.
It's a slightly different recording format, so
It's a time requirement. And unfortunately, we spend a lot of time working on Nerdarchy as it is. For them to dedicate even more time to that specific thing, it's hard.
I am glad that there is still the thought patterns out there, and at some point in time, we do hope to make it return. It's just going to be a matter of when.
And then also too, it's a matter of like figuring out the best way to record those, because like it might be figuring out a better setup configuration to like show off what's being made and then like editing it together and making it the most watchable thing possible. Because like the old ones are kind of rough.
The chat has been taken over.
Yeah.
It has been completely taken over by questions where everyone's from, what they like.
Yeah.
So as an example from Nerdcraft TimeSync, I was working on a Nerdcraft for the Christmas holiday, and what happened was
You inadvertently blew your house up and your kids have no ways to live now.
well, that could have happened if I had stuck like some kind of explosive into the toaster oven instead of plastic. So what ended up happening was the plastic didn't melt right, and it ended up I need to get fresh new material, and I didn't have time for it. So maybe if I had started like a month early. But anyway, all of the editing that I had done and all of the work I put into it was like 4 or 5 hours that just resulted in 0 video. So that can happen where we're working on something and it doesn't work out, and then we're not going to put up a super fail video on it.
Business hood, and that's a terrible return on investment of time spent. So therefore, we need to capitalize gains and get dividends.
Hey, forget all that because we just made a nerd connection in the chat. Comic Book Universe. Hey, Kevin, we played Star Wars together a couple of times.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
I'm thinking probably online. Not
The Force is with you, and I am with the Force. The Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
You don't say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're both looking at the different comments and stuff.
These motherfuckers are on their phone when we're trying to do a video.
I know.
Guys, right now. I can't believe this shit.
Sorry, texting my woman.
Yeah.
No, actually, my phone decided it hated me and shut it down.
Yeah. So I guess on the
too.
horizon too, we can tease out the fact that there is going to be a Rogue One discussion. I'm sad I wasn't here for that video, but I'm looking forward to the conversation that was had between you guys and Mr. Garibay and the comments.
And be warned, that is one of our lengthy videos.
And there's no way to not spoil it when you do an in-depth discussion. So,
And we started it off with that completely. It's like, hey, look, don't watch this if you're not wanting spoilers, because it's spoiler.
Yeah, if you're spoiler averse, adverse.
Yeah, we're
Don't
sad
go.
about Carrie Fisher too. That's a bummer.
Yes.
We got to rip Carrie Fisher in here. We also kind of call that on the video. Unfortunately, I don't know. Sad times. We lost Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And then her mom
Escape.
dies the day after. Isn't that some crazy stuff? Debbie Reynolds died too.
Yeah, the day after I saw
it's
that.
just nuts. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess that's sort of like, heartbreak is really probably like, it's like the same thing with senior citizens. Like a lot of times, if they're married and been together for quite some time, like one senior will die and then their spouse will before too
shortly
long.
after, yeah.
Brian F. Deborah Ann Wall, the actress from Daredevil. She's also in True Blood too, I believe. DMs her own campaign, so there are women who game. No, there's actually Hyper RPG has a female GM. I can't Bronze Girl, I want to say, or something like that. I forget the name of her. She's really good. She does a great job.
Yeah, we're not saying that there aren't female gamers. We're saying that probably
they just hate Nerdarchy.
Well, just other channels with more of a female perspective on things may attract more to other females, because kind of like attracts like is kind of a thing that tends to happen. So it's kind of like if you're a crazy alt-writer, then a lot of crazy alt-writers come and watch your stuff, and
we attract females that have dwarf fetishes, I think.
Maybe
the number
not
of
little person dwarf, but fantasy dwarf.
But all this
the number of female
Glorious,
gamers is definitely on the rise. It's just it's not anywhere close to a 50-50. So
I don't think it really will ever get there. So it's just like something, people have different interests.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Who knows?
Yeah, if you're a lady and want to pick up some dice, by all means, pick up some dice. Definitely do it. Plenty of decent, non-creepy dudes be happy and willing to show you how to play the game. Certain games, you just don't want to hang out with those individuals if they're just creepy and weird.
Christopher Evans in the house.
Yay, Christopher!
He was our first Nine of the Nag.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
and we had a recent another expansion of Nine of the Nag. Kurt has jumped in, so that's awesome. That discussion is going to get even bigger every month.
Bigger and better.
So that's cool.
Excalibur's LP is referencing they play MechWarrior online. I'm Nathan Nerdark on it, so you can just send me a friend request, or if you actually play and want to hang out. So
we're just stalking him. Just stalk him like he comes out of his house. You're in a tree with binoculars.
I don't have two computers for you to play MechWarrior on, so you're out of luck there.
Yeah,
he'll have a backpack with his own. Comes down, rappels down. I'm ready to play.
I'm ready.
Let's get the got a harness with the laptop already set up.
Ambush LAN party.
It's the thing. Flash LAN party.
Flash LAN party. Yeah, flan party. Flan is the worst dessert ever. I'm not a flan fan. Flan is just terrible dessert.
Is that made with a lot of butter?
I don't know.
I'm
just
not into,
it's
super buttery desserts.
I think it's kind of like a Latin dessert, but I just think it's just give me some pie, cake, or cookies, or some damn ice cream.
Give me some pie.
I actually let's see, Aaron Quinn. I have two daughters, and we'll try to encourage them to grow up and share the hobby. I tried with my daughter, and she just wasn't interested at all. She was a little bit younger when I first tried, so maybe I'll try again. But I thought because she played with dolls that the role playing would be easier.
Mm-hmm.
You have a little mini. It's like a tiny doll, right?
Yeah.
So because I figured they're already kind of doing it. I tried to help her build a character around something she was interested. Yeah, she was into Monster High at the time, so we used a shifter bard. So the whole
tie into the thing.
The whole Rockstar. Monster High type character we went with, and really her biggest interest in winning the game was she was a bard with spells, and I had the spell cards for them to use, was slapping them down and using her spells as if they were Pokemon cards.
Not everybody wants to be an active participant of a story or participate in the story to the level that a role-playing game involves. Maybe some people only get to the level of playing a video game where you are a pretty active participant, but it's not the same because there's programmatic tax or veins there's only certain options that you can do. Whereas what do you do in a game where nobody's telling you how to do it, how to play it? And that's what a role-playing game is.
Mm-hmm. So Gallifrey 10 0 11 0
right, now you're cut off.
0
You're cut off.
Have you been talking to my son? Have you guys ever considered doing an animated episode of Nerdarchy? haven't you been listening? Haven't you told us? Haven't we discussed how we struggle with technology?
Yeah.
Not to farm it out.
Are you an animator? Can you animate us? We could do the voices, maybe.
Yeah, I do want to mess around with some like limited animation stuff at some point. I think that would be kind of cool. I think I have a concept on the horizon for like a music video thing that I'd written a long time ago, and I even have the music for. I just have to record vocals and then the long arduous task of actually like animating it. Like that would be like probably if doing it in my part-time, like an almost 4-month like part-time endeavor.
Wow.
There's a crafter question for Ted Ornate by Koji Phoenix.
What's the question?
If you wanted to turn a miniature club weapon into a great axe, what would you use for the axe blades? Or would you take the axe blades from another miniature?
Well, I generally hack apart other minis to get my parts. Depending upon how big of a mini you're talking, there are a number of different plastics or foams that you could carve out what it is that you want to use. I always find salvaging other minis is the best way to get the parts that you need.
Yeah, you could even too. They make, what is it, that milliput or something like that? Like you could kind of sculpt that to how you want it, or you could even take like a little bit of Sculpey clay and make the exact little piece you want, cook it in the oven. It's not going to take long at all. It's probably like small, so small, probably be cooked in like 5 minutes or whatever, and then glue that on and like do your base tones on it and then go over and paint that and make it look however you want.
Yeah, milliput and Sculpey are incredibly useful. I don't have the best hand at sculpting.
I can sculpt.
So we got sculpt it, steel it. I think you should really just get us a shrink ray and just shrink down an axe and put it in our hands. That would be way easier.
That's a legitimate way to do it.
Well, I think if you're honestly considering going with a shrink ray, you might want to just go for Hero Forge and design the darn thing yourself, because I think a shrink ray is going to be a lot more expensive.
Fun. You guys always shoot down my ideas.
I would say whatever you choose to do, make sure that you have some way of attaching it that's not just sticking it onto the piece, like whether it has a little like interior sprue bit or some kind of like metal.
You can make like a dowel,
like a metal dowel or a toothpick dowel.
It's a pin. You would pin the two pieces together.
Okay.
Yeah, with like you
could call it a pin.
You could Dremel it on each side, or I mean, you could with just some a 2-part epoxy, put some on each side, adhere it, and then paint it over. Maybe go around the edges again with some epoxy. Like epoxy, if you're not going to be like brutal on your minis, it's going to hold it pretty well. And it's like a little piece.
Yeah, if you've got carpeted floor, I would say it can take a few drops, but if you don't have a good affixation to it, however you say that. I'm trying to think.
A good adhesive.
Basically, the more surface area or the harder the connection, the better. If it's just like kind of stuck onto the end, it has a tendency to break off or snap off.
But I would say that you don't want to have the two edges smooth. So if you could rough it up a little bit, they will adhere better.
A little bit of a gritty sandpaper or something like that.
Yeah, or scoring.
And on this episode of Big Little Dollhouse Explanations,
I love the fact they're now voting on stuff in the chat.
What are they voting on?
High fantasy. Wait a minute, I gotta find the original. High fantasy versus dark and gritty.
Dark and gritty.
I like gritty stuff,
and everyone's weighing in, so it's kind of cool. Been going on, rambling on for about an hour now. I wanted to do a kind of a year-end thing where we talk about like the stuff we've done, but we kind of did
the 25K video would be a great place to check that out. We talked about we hit certain benchmarks and stuff, but this year, if we can crack over 50,000 subscribers, that's another thing we can bring up real quick, that we're going to do milestone giveaways. We mentioned that on the 25K one, but so up until 100,000 subscribers, every 10,000 subscribers, we're going to do a thing where on that milestone video, we're going to say like, comment, share, subscribe on this video, and then we'll randomly pick a comment and do some sort of giveaway on that.
So someone's asking if they had missed the Technomancy discussion. So basically, whenever we do the Q&A, these Q&As, I try and think of a title that has some correlation to what we're talking about, but it probably isn't the gaming correlation. It's more like the nerdarchy correlation. Like the very first one we did was leaving the tavern for the first time. The second one was the Dragon's Horde because we gave stuff away. And this time, I talk about something about Technomancy, right?
Yeah.
Because we have all this new technology.
We showed off the gear.
Yeah, the new gear that we have. So we upped our tech.
So we're taking artistic license.
A little bit. Yeah. So
but a Technomancy discussion would be cool.
As Ryan was saying, I would love to see by this time next year for us to really double our subscriber base. So that's only going to come from you guys. So I would love to see if we can hit 50K.
You know what massively bigly help out on that? And as far as like when we hit milestones, it'll help prompt it, triggered the giveaways too, right? So a huge way to help that is if you take your favorite video or two from the week and like share it in like a Reddit or a big Facebook group that's centered around RPGs or something like that, or forums where discussions going on, that helps disseminate us, and the legend of nerdarchy continues.
What if Russian hackers take our stuff and put it everywhere?
Yeah, that would be pretty.
Would that help?
Yeah.
Are any of you guys Russian or a hacker? No, don't do that. That's illegal. Nerdarchy does not encourage breaking the law in any way, shape, or form.
Well, no,
unless it helps you win an election.
They can be hackers elsewhere. I mean, they can legitimately share our stuff wherever they want.
They can share our stuff wherever.
Yeah,
they
and
want.
like if you are an RPG blogger and if you want to embed our videos, by all means, like if it's around the content you're talking about, that's fantastic, and that helps lead other people to checking us out, and we always appreciate that as well.
Sorry, Hogasha. I hope we didn't, Hogasha. I hope we didn't anger you too greatly with our pseudo technomancy.
Yeah,
but getting the new gear for us is kind of a big deal. We're really excited about putting on better shows for you guys. Another question: do you guys listen? Oh, this is a different Gallifrey. See, I gotta say all those numbers. This is just Gallifrey.
Yeah.
This is the guy that kept that other guy from just having Gallifrey.
There we go.
So
they can Highlander this shit, and one person's getting their head cut off because there can only be one.
Okay, another question: do you guys listen to any good D&D podcasts? Dun dun dun.
No, I don't.
Well, Tabletop Terrors does a podcast, but I just watch their videos and listen to them. So I listen to their YouTube videos.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. These days, it's mostly YouTube stuff.
It is more YouTube stuff. Gamers Table, I think is what it's called. Or I can tell you, the one I do that I get notifications on my phone because I have an app for it. Is the one that I do listen to on occasion. When I was actually in my work season, I would listen a lot more.
Yeah. So Matt Mercer stuff, Matt Colville. Basically, if your name's Matt, we tend to listen to what you say. Matt Click, the occasional Dawn Forge video, as well. Like I kind of spread it out because I'm of the mind that you either want to check out a bunch of different people's opinions and thoughts on things, because if you just follow one or two people very closely, I feel like there's a danger of being an echo chamber of what they are and what they talk about. So I never want to do that. Oh, and also Tabletop Terrors. But so you either have to listen to a lot of people or like almost no one, basically no one at all, because you don't want to sound like other people, or you want a lot of exposure to have diverse opinions.
Plus, like with the different jobs within Nerdarchy, like my main job within Nerdarchy is I edit and render the videos. Well, I can't have anything going on when I'm doing that because I need to hear what's going on in the video I'm editing. So so it's very
different
solitary.
tasks like just allow you to do different things. Like at my day job, I might throw on YouTube and like check out different videos. Some of it role playing game related, some of it like
there ain't nothing
related.
Important going on there.
Anyway,
right?
No, exactly.
Yeah, it is. Gamers Table is actually the podcast that I do listen to occasionally, and I'm like way behind now. But especially when I was working, it was easy for me to the work trucks have no working radios for the most part. So I just put my headphones on and stream a podcast, and I did a lot of driving, so I could get through quite a few. So that's when I would mostly listen. And so for that, it all just depends on what I could get on my phone for free.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, that's one. Happy Jacks. There's a couple more too that get mentioned all the time. What's the one that Anthony Nicole mentioned all the time?
There's
from
There's
Cardboard
like
Fortress.
there's the Adventure Zone or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the
I've
one.
never checked it out, but apparently the guy's like based out of Philly. So and they do like, but the only thing is, it's not. They're more like comedic, like chuckle fuck gamers, like, which is not really. It's like, or saying like beer and pretzels. Like, they don't really take the game particularly seriously. It's meant to be absurd, which I could get down with playing a game like that on occasion, but I don't know if that's the thing I would follow. Really, whereas like Critical Role, like I like the evolution of a serious narrative. Yeah, they get into some goofy stuff, but by and large, it's a very like. Something is happening and there's a story.
Oh no, it's the same person. He just changed out the number. He changed out all the numbers. I wonder why I put the numbers in there in the first place
To begin with, yeah.
Just to make you read them.
Maybe, or no, I think he changed it so it'd stop.
Yeah.
It's like, shut him up.
Yeah.
Why won't he shut up?
Are you not shutting up? I can't believe you're not shutting up.
So we ready to call this? Or are we gonna just sit and watch Dave look at his phone?
This is riveting.
It is riveting.
I don't know whether or not he's going to ask a question or do a statement.
I don't know what's he doing.
Yeah, someone else said Adventure Zone's good. Well, I had switched to fund the podcast, and now there's all this stuff is going on in here.
Yeah.
I feel overwhelmed, guys. Kyle, where are you? You're supposed to be reading this stuff to us. He's at work.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, we've been going for a while, and we still have videos to shoot today. 2017, very excited. Want to thank all you guys, especially the patrons, and also
Thank you all.
you guys that have been using our drive-through RPG and Amazon affiliate links, which a small portion of that goes back to us, so it helps us out a lot. In the description, you can find the links to everything we did last week. You can find the links to those different places if you want to support us in that way.
I think I do want to start like pinned comment. We could just do like all the things that people could go and support us. We could just have that in every single thing that if you go shopping on Amazon on Drive-Thru RPG, like this way it would be a nice, easy, like, hey, if you're gonna go do this thing, think about the, you know, like helping us out if you would like to.
What do you guys think about that? And love you, Nerd Arc. Yeah, we love you guys too.
Love you back.
We love you back. You guys should check out Encounter Roleplay at some point. They've got a podcast and a Twitch stream. Unearthed Arcana Confections of Doom.
Confections, are they cooking or baking?
I don't know. In the next one, Unearthed Arcana. I don't know. I might be catching part of a conversation as well. Because there's a lot of that going on, which is really cool. And that's the other thing that's so cool about doing this. Like, we've built a pretty awesome community here. And we couldn't do that without you guys. Like, our comment section is actually a pleasant place to hang out. With when I hear other people talk, they talk about the comment sections of YouTube as basically being the sewers of the internet, and really,
and our experience has been like 99% fantastic.
Yeah, our loyal.
Other than one video, it was good. It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
our loyal nerd arcists out there.
So thanks, guys. Have a happy nerdy New Year.
Yeah, be safe out there. You know, call a cab, an Uber, whatever. If you're gonna go tie one on tonight.
Sleep in an alley, whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to do. Crash on somebody's couch, yeah.
No, I don't recommend sleeping in alleys. That's probably not very safe either.
Be safe, have fun, and
until next time,
Stay nerdy.